He heard it so softly it barely rose above the rain. "Please don't hurt me. I'm already injured," the little black girl whispered, her tiny fingers trembling as they clung to the sleeve of a billionaire who had never in his life been spoken to with that kind of fear. Victor Hale, 45 years old, wealthy enough to buy city blocks, felt something inside him crack. Before we dive in, please subscribe for more stories like this, as it means the world to us, and comment your country so we know where our family's growing. Just 10 minutes earlier, he'd been sitting in the back of his luxury town car, staring at headlines that painted him as the villain of the week. "Heartless billionaire destroys low-income homes," one headline shouted. "Ruthless businessman puts families on the street," another claimed. It didn't matter that the building he closed was filled with mold, failing wiring, and collapsing ceilings. People didn't want explanations, they wanted someone to blame. And tonight, that someone was him. The storm outside matched his mood: heavy, relentless, loud. As they passed through a dim street, the driver suddenly tensed. A sharp blast of a horn, the squeal of wet tires, and then a dull thud cut through the night. Victor didn't wait. "Stop the car," he said. The driver hesitated. It was a rough neighborhood, but Victor repeated, "Now." He stepped out into the rain and saw a small crowd, phones raised, recording instead of helping. In the center of the chaos, a dented sedan sat at an angle, its headlights cutting across the soaked street. A woman stood near the bumper, sobbing, "I didn't see her. I swear, I didn't see her." And then Victor saw the child. Amara, 8 years old, soaked to the bone, one knee scraped and bleeding, one sneaker missing, her hair sticking to her face in wet braids. She sat on the curb, hugging her arm to her chest, trying to look brave, but failing. Victor knelt down beside her, his suit soaking with rain. "Hey," he said softly. "I'm here to help you, okay? What's your name?" The girl flinched so hard it startled him. Her shoulders lifted up to protect her face. Her voice cracked like something inside her had already broken long before tonight. "Please don't hurt me. I'm already injured." Victor froze. Not from the cold, from the truth inside her words. She wasn't afraid of the accident. She was afraid of adults. Afraid of people. Afraid of life. He lifted both hands slowly so she could see he wasn't touching her. "I won't hurt you," he promised. "You're safe with me." When the EMTs arrived, Victor insisted on riding with her. Nobody expected that. A billionaire crammed into the back of an ambulance. But he didn't care. Something about that child's fear held on to him like a hook in his chest. At the hospital, hours passed. For the first time in decades, he waited in an ER like everyone else. No VIP rooms, no shortcuts, no assistants smoothing things over. People whispered as they recognized him. "Why is he here? Isn't that the billionaire everyone hates right now?" He ignored all of it. A social worker finally approached him. "Are you here for Amara?" she asked gently. Victor nodded. "Family." "No," he said. "But she shouldn't be alone tonight." The social worker explained the truth. Amara was a foster kid from a house that was overcrowded, loud, and barely supervised. Too many children. Too few safe adults. Running out into the street wasn't the first time she'd tried to escape the chaos. Victor stepped into her hospital room, trying not to look as shaken as he felt. The girl looked so small lying in that giant hospital bed, her ankle wrapped, her cheek bruised. When she saw him, she blinked in surprise. "You came back," she whispered. "Of course I did," he said, pulling the chair closer. As they talked, little pieces of her life fell out between breaths. She loved drawing, but never had crayons. She slept on a mattress shared with 2 other kids. Sometimes the lights didn't work. Sometimes dinner didn't happen. Sometimes adults yelled, and nobody explained why. And she kept apologizing. For being hurt. For taking up space. For existing. At one point she asked him, "Am I in trouble because I got hit?" That question nearly knocked the breath out of him. "No, sweetheart," he said softly. "You didn't do anything wrong. Not one thing." The next few days changed them both. Victor kept coming back with books, snacks, little things she'd never owned before. He listened to her stories like they were the most important business meetings of his life. Behind the scenes, he called lawyers, city officials, and child welfare experts. And with each call, he learned just how broken the system was. Kids like Amara weren't slipping through the cracks. They were falling straight into them. 1 week later, Victor stood at a podium in front of dozens of reporters expecting him to defend himself. Instead, he took a different path entirely. He told the world about the girl who had changed him. He quoted her exact words. "Please don't hurt me. I'm already injured." He explained how those 7 words opened his eyes wider than any scandal ever could. Then he announced a massive initiative. He was rebuilding that torn-down property into a state-of-the-art care and housing center for foster kids, complete with counselors, tutors, emergency beds, medical support, and safe foster placement programs. He was funding it fully, personally, permanently. This wasn't a PR move. It was a turning point. People were stunned. Some doubted him. Some cheered. But the work began immediately. Weeks later, when Amara was finally released from the hospital, she had a new foster home, clean, loving, and carefully chosen. She clutched a new stuffed bear Victor had given her, its fur soft and warm. "You didn't hurt me," she whispered as she hugged him goodbye. "You helped me." He smiled, feeling something new inside him. Something he hadn't felt since he was a boy. "Amara," he said gently, "you helped me first." As she walked out with the social worker, sunlight broke through the clouds outside the hospital doors, washing the hallway in soft gold. Victor stood there watching, knowing he'd done something no amount of money had ever made him feel human. And if you're still here listening, tell me in the comments, what moment in your life changed you? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because your support keeps stories like this alive.